are on top. You know, we talked about it at the beginning of the show, guys. This team, they were down 21-10 here in the fourth quarter. They had missed a field goal at the end of the first half. Questionable fourth down call in the fourth quarter. Yet they keep fighting, and they wind up winning.
You're talking about not going for the field goal.
Not going for the field goal, and they wind up winning this game, Tony. This team just keeps on fighting, and here they are. Not a great record, but they're still in first place.
Yeah, still in first place, which is crazy having 2 wins. But I'll tell you what, the play of Carson Wentz just being that tough guy, I think this all starts with him. He's kind of a reflection of who that team is, where they don't ever give up. And then Boston Scott coming up big, making those plays. I guess you could say I had more than a feeling that he would come out and make plays. Get it, Boston?
Six plays, 71 yards. And then he hits Boston Scott, and the one guy who they throw the fade right to, who is perfectly covered, I might add, in the corner of the end zone. He's the one, step up, fire. Simple zones, you go down, you turn around, you hook. Carson Wentz came back, he came back, and then with a minute 22 left in the game, he responded with that throw right there to Boston Scott. Boston Scott's 5'6", and he goes up with his hands and makes a great catch. A minute 22 left, 71 yards to go, even after the coach almost cost him the game by not going for that field goal. Philadelphia struggles, they fight. And I'm going to tell you something else. So did New York. Yeah. That was a well-played football game tonight by both teams.
Philadelphia gets the win. They're starting to get healthy, so watch out for them as the season continues.
Well, if Johnson at right tackle can stay healthy, then you saw Jackson go back out.
Yeah, they lost him again. You know, but some of the other names are starting to come back off of injury reserve as the season goes on. No question, though, who the progressive player of the game is. The quarterback, Carson Wentz, 359 yards passing, 2 passing touchdowns. He also ran for 1. This, statistically, was his best game of the season. First time over 300 yards through the air, and he did that, every bit of it. They need it. He spoke with Aaron Andrews right after the game finished.
Well, I'll start off by asking what everyone asked you last Sunday. How are you feeling?
Feeling good.
Good that you got the win, absolutely. Hey, that final drive, I mean, I'm only going to ask it because Troy was talking about it. The 18-yard touchdown pass to Boston Scott, they said when you have a guy that's 5'6", that's not an easy throw to make at all. What was that like?
I mean, he plays bigger than he is.
Yeah.
You know, he does a great job. And, I mean, shoot, last year he made a bunch of plays against New York as well. And so to have a guy like that be able to step in for miles and make plays like he did tonight, that was huge. And the way we fought, I mean, it was an ugly game. It was an ugly game, and we didn't like we left a lot of points out there, a lot of plays, but to stay in it and keep believing, keep fighting, and to pull it out, I'm proud of these guys.
And once again, another guy making some plays when others have gone down. Carson, you said to us this week, listen, we all know the NFC East is up for grabs. Yep. This was a big one for you guys. What's the thought as you go inside locker room to see the rest of your team?
Absolutely. I mean, you hit it on the head. This was a huge one for us. Obviously not the start to the season we were looking for, but we know the NFC East is wide open, and we know we got a lot of divisional games coming up, so this was a big one for us.
All right, go get in a cold tub. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carson.
All right, and so the Eagles win at 22-21, and you mentioned this is a tough loss for the Giants because they had this game in the bag, up 21-10 down the stretch. Daniel Jones fumbled there late in the game, but that, Tony, is not the play he'll be remembered forever for, really.
Yeah, it's not going to be, but like you said, another heartbreaking loss for them, especially when you had it right at the end. Evan Ingram drops that pass that was beautifully placed by Daniel Jones, but we did see something that was pretty funny. I think there's going to be a lot of memes coming on this one because Daniel Jones is going to take this ball, and he is gone.
Here I go.
And all of a sudden,
I got it.
Look on his face. I'm breaking apart, and he just falls down.
Car started leaking early.
Oh, man, this is something. Look at his teammates. They're going to have fun with this. But I tell you, that's one of those things you can laugh about it because they scored the touchdown at the very least, but it's also going to be something that he's going to be remembered for a long time.
That was funny. That old body, because you lean forward when you're running. But when those legs start going, you can't get the body back up, and you try to hang on.
Well, social media had a great time with it, as you might imagine. No surprise there. Even Patrick Mahomes gave him a little love, saying, I can't even say anything because I'd never be able to run that either. But that was about as nice as it got. Stephon Diggs laying into him. Like, he tripped the same way when people doing scary movies when they're running from the villain or the bad guy. And then, of course, Sean Merriman. Hey, Ricky. Boys in the Hood, right?
Ricky!
Calling them back, exactly. Lots of fun had at Daniel Jones.
Think about Philadelphia hosting Dallas in, what, a week or so? That's going to be another divisional game. Philadelphia should be proud of their effort tonight. Dallas is coming in all banged up with a very bad defense.
Yeah, and it just shows you with this division still, even though the Giants lost this one, kind of a heartbreaker for them, You just got to win the games in your division. They'll still be able to have a chance. I thought Daniel Jones, after that run, he still can come back next week and hopefully get a win.
All right, of course, we will see you again Sunday. Coming up next on Fox, except on the West Coast, it's your late local news. And on the NFL Network, it's the Mercedes-Benz postgame show.
See you, everybody.
Welcome to the Mercedes-Benz postgame show.
Carson Wentz and the Eagles come back to win it with this amazing throw and catch right here by Boston Scott with 40 seconds remaining in the game. It was not a pretty game to watch, but the Eagles, they get the win 22-21. They move to 2-4-1 on the season and now into first place in the division. Welcome in, everybody, to the postgame show. I'm Colleen Wolfe with Joe Thomas, Michael Irvin, and Steve Smith Sr. So let's talk about all of the things that happened. It was quite a ride, to be honest. And as you can see here, the standings, the Eagles jumping over the Cowboys there because of that tie that Doug Peterson received a lot of heat for when he went for it, but who knows what's going to happen in this division. Could be the thing that ends up helping them in the end, but let's see how the Eagles ended up winning this one in the final moments of the game. Evan Ingram had this key drop on third down, and that gave the ball back to the Eagles with 2 minutes to go. Irv, what did you see from the Eagles on this final drive?
Listen, those final two drives, when the score was 21-11, Carson Wentz showed up and showed Joe and Steve the man he really is. Made some great throws in those last two drives. That throw down the sideline to Hightower was a perfect throw. And then that throw to Scott in the corner of the end zone. This is what they see in Philadelphia. This is the man that they love and they want to build their football team around. He showed you when he was down, that he carried this team and got them to a victory.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same page, Michael, because we both like Carson Wentz. And I'm not sure where you got that earlier in the show that I'm some type of Carson Wentz hater, because I see the same things you do down the stretch. When the chips are down on the table and everything matters, the game is right there in hand. Carson Wentz made the play. He did a great job with his decision-making down the stretch, something that he'd struggled with throughout that game, making the right throws on time, on the money, deciding when to scramble outside the pocket, deciding when to throw the football away. He was fantastic down the stretch, and they finally got a little bit of help with that run game, and I think it just kept the Giants' defense off balance enough where Carson was able to pick them apart going down the field for those last two drives and getting what they needed. It's definitely got to be a huge boost for this team. Now being in first place in the tough NFC East, being able to finish a game the way they did with the comeback win, it definitely is an emotional boost, no matter how bad the division is, actually.
It's remarkable. I thought for sure that we were going to jinx them, considering we all picked the Eagles to win this game. But the Eagles and Carson Wentz, Steve, they came out strong, especially in that first drive, but then they really made it count at the end of that game. In the middle, not so much. Little bit of a different story. So what did you think of Carson Wentz's night overall?
I mean, overall, Carson Wentz is an elite quarterback. However, in the first drive, you saw when he got the ball out quick, he was making decisions. They went up there and scored very quickly. Now, in the middle of the game, he started to play their hero ball. When you try to play hero ball and try to carry this team, that is where you get outside of yourself. Carson Wentz is an elite quarterback, but he can't be that way when he's sitting there trying to do all these things, scrambling around, throwing across his body, doing things that quarterback coaches or offense coordinators and head coaches hate to see. Rolling right, throwing to the left. Luckily, cornerbacks are failed wide receivers, most of them, so that's why they were